President Donald Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden in New York City was a massive success. But of course, you gotta have some haters. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we gotta talk about President Donald Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden in New York City. This was a massive success. It was completely sold out. It was packed from the window to the wall. You had all different races, nationalities, LGBT, religions. Everybody was there. There were no problems. It was all peace. It was all harmony. However, your mainstream media types on the left, of course, some of these, irregular people on the internets, they had a problem. They called it a Nazi rally. They said this was one of the worst things that has ever happened to this country. Now, before I go too far into it, let's just jump straight to the clips. I'm going to start with the negativity first, then we're going to get into the positivity. But of course, everything will be in the description. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
But that jamboree happening right now, you see it there on your screen, in that place is particularly chilling because in 1939, more than 20,000 supporters of a different fascist leader, Adolf Hitler, packed the garden for a so-called pro-America rally.
Can we pause for a minute? So they're just going to say he's a fascist as a fact. Not even their opinion. This is just, he's a fascist, okay? And there was another fascist guy with the funny mustache. He is the same as him. Look at the lower third here. Trump's Madison Square Garden rally comes 85 years after a pro-Nazi rally at famed arena, okay? So this is what they do on mainstream media. And they wonder why we don't like them, why we don't watch them, why we don't trust them. It's because of stuff like this. Now, here, this is CNN. I guess they aired the compilation of the offensive clips from the rally, starting with Kill Tony. We're going to get into him and what he said and with a little bit more context.
Latinos, they love making babies, too. Just know that. They do. They do. There's no pulling out. They don't do that. I don't know if you...
Is that offensive? What's the Hispanic birth rate compared to Black Americans, white Americans? I mean, like... Is it wrong?
You guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico.
Let's pause. Now, people got really offended at the Puerto Rico comment. How could you say that? Floating island of garbage. Now, from my opinion, that's not a smart thing to say. I know it's a joke. I know he's a comedian. I get it. But that's not a very smart thing to say. However, there is context behind it because Puerto Rico has a really big problem with garbage, with actual trash removal, storage. It's just trash everywhere. So I think that's the context behind it, not just that, oh, these are Hispanics and they're garbage people. No. It's the problem with actual physical trash, landfills overflowing. I think that's the problem, but I digress.
Puerto Rico? That's a cool black guy with a thing on his head. What the hell is that, a lampshade? I'm just kidding. That's one of my buddies. He had a Halloween party last night. We had fun. We carved watermelons together. It was awesome.
There we go, the watermelon joke.
She is some sick Hillary Clinton, huh? What a sick son of a... The whole party, a bunch of degenerates.
She is the devil, whoever screamed that out. She is the Antichrist. It's going to be pretty hard to...
Now look. This is supposed to be an offensive comment, calling Kamala the devil and Antichrist. But didn't we just see them on television call Trump a fascist and compare him to the funny mustache guy and say that the rally full of regular, everyday American people is somehow akin to a Nazi rally? Make it make sense. So that's not offensive, but what he said is somehow offensive. It needs to be highlighted in the compilation. It's ridiculous, but I digress.
Look at us and say, you know what? Kamala Harris, she got 85 million votes because she's just so impressive. As the first Samoan, Malaysian, low IQ, former California prosecutor ever to be elected president.
After those disgusting warm-up acts, Trump then ratcheted up his incendiary, vengeful rhetoric.
After those disgusting warm-up acts, incendiary, vengeful rhetoric. You see how they talk? But then we're the bad guys. When we say anything negative against them, we're the bad guys.
I will launch the largest deportation program in American history to get the criminals out.
Very good. Shout out to Trump. That's not a negative thing at all, CNN.
I will rescue every city and town that has been invaded and conquered. And when I say the enemy from within, the other side goes crazy, becomes the sound of, oh, how can he say? No, they've done very bad things to this country. They are indeed the enemy from within. But this is who we're fighting. They're the enemy of the...
They're not going to like the enemy within comment because it's true. They're not going to like being called out like that. That's part of the problem with Trump, is that he calls out things that were kind of left alone before, and now they got to face it. I never in my life thought I would see Dr. Phil at a Trump rally. Never in my life. Maybe I'm remembering incorrectly. Please help me out. I remember Dr. Phil was a big never Trumper, like supporting his friend Oprah. Like he would never do anything with Trump. And now we see him right here today. And it was kind of a full circle because he did the evening show rather than the daytime show. Start talking about more controversial, conservative type of topics. Ain't no more of that cash me outside. How about that bad baby, whatever her name is. Ain't no more of that. He is fully into the conservative world. I think it's a great transformation, and I hope that it's genuine. But let me let him talk.
But as for you, the collective you, I don't want you to just listen and say, nice talk, Dr. Phil. I want you to march in your life. I want you to march with your beliefs. I want you to not be intimidated. Don't be stopped, and don't just vote. Take 5 people with you. Like I said, the difference between winners and losers is winners do things losers don't want to do. And what they do is they take actions toward known outcomes. They deal with the truth. They set goals, and they go after them with passion.
Okay, Dr. Phil, I am motivated. Hey, point to a brick wall. I'm going to go through it head first, like a battering ram. Okay, I'm going to just go pew straight through it. Melania made an appearance, surprisingly. Oh, Melania hates Donald, all this, that, and the third. Does she? I can't tell.
Today, a declining quality of life coupled with economic instability makes it difficult for business to thrive. Crime is on the rise, while public safety diminishes, creating an environment where families with young children choose to relocate. And this story repeats itself from coast to coast across our nation. This is America. For generations, this town has produced America's most fearless leaders, whose mark changed the course of the world. New York City and America needs their magic back.
Shout out to Melania. I'm glad she made an appearance. This was fantastic. And she looks amazing as always. Let's keep on going.
I'm thrilled to be back in the city I love, and thousands of proud, hard-working American patriots. You're with me. We're all together. We've always been together. And I'd like to begin by asking a very simple question. Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? I'm thrilled.
That's a very simple question, and I would love for Kamala Harris to answer that question. I believe she's been asked the question on numerous occasions, but I don't think she's ever answered it because she doesn't answer any questions. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling.
Kamala's gross incompetence disqualifies her from being president of the United States of America. She is grossly incompetent. All you have to do is look at her interviews, look at what she did the other night on fake news CNN. Just take a look. She couldn't answer a question. She's unfit for office. Everyone knows it. No one respects her. No one trusts her. No one takes her seriously. Everyone knows she is a very low IQ individual. From humiliating our country in Afghanistan to the war in Ukraine to the nightmare on our border to her inflation catastrophe, all done in conjunction with Sleepy Joe. But he was largely sleeping, wasn't he? After 4 o'clock. It's time to go to bed. To his and her egregious hurricane response, the worst response in North Carolina and other states since Katrina, but I think it was even worse than Katrina.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. All right, let's keep going here.
So Jews and Muslims and Catholics and evangelicals and Mormons, and they're all joining our cause in large numbers, larger than anyone has ever seen in this country before, larger than they've ever seen in any country. And the Republican Party has really become the party of inclusion, and that's something very nice about that.
That is the absolute truth. And as I close, I want to say this on that point about inclusion. The Republican Party is all about inclusion, but not just from how you look. We don't really care how you look. That's not even really important. I mean, you might come through with a blue wig on. We might make a little joke, but if you want to vote Trump, okay, go ahead. Ain't no big problem. If you could take a joke, I mean, just take it. But we're not going to be exclusionary. Oh, well, you're a white male, you're heterosexual, you don't think just like us. We're not going to be exclusionary. You want to come to a Trump rally? Come on. We don't care who you are. As long as you cool, we cool. As long as you don't try to act up, we're not going to do nothing to you. Come on. It's very inclusive. Very inclusive. We are now the party of inclusion in a serious way. And the main thing we want you to have in common is a love for the country, a desire to do well in your own personal life, a desire to be a law-abiding citizen. That's what we champion. We're not evil, hateful, and vindictive the way the other side is. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Did you see the entire rally? Have you just seen clips? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. This was a fantastic rally. Kamala Harris could never. Joe Biden could never. Maybe Barack Obama could have done it back in the 08 days, but those days are gone and they're not coming back. Trump is the future. There's going to be J.D. Vance. We're going to take it because we in the Republican Party are listening to the needs of the people. We're not so beholden to sponsors and this and that and the third. We're beholden to the people. And that's where you're going to make the biggest inroads in this country. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that is all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.